Whew. Okay, alright. Welcome to the prestigious ListenedALot Award Show. I'm your host, MrQuitALot, and today we celebrate the best of the best in K-pop in 2022. Today, we are gonna present to you a lot of amazing and incredible artists and their songs. But only one can get the prestigious, amazing ListenedALot Award. Only one. The artists and the songs that I'm about to present to you have been chosen by our esteemed panel of judges, basically just me. And they have prepared months in advance, listening to every single K-pop song to choose the best of the best, to be sure to give that prestigious ListenedALot Award to the one artist that deserves it the most. But of course, before we give away the big, grand prize, we need to talk about the runner-ups to that prize and also other artists who deserve to be mentioned because they also impacted the industry a lot this year. Now, before we begin the ceremony, I would like to say one more thing. All jokes aside, this is obviously my personal favorite list of K-pop songs. So if you disagree, if your list looks different from mine, write it down in the comments below. I really would like to see what you guys listened to a lot this year, and just be respectful with other people's tastes, because obviously your list might look completely different from mine or from someone else's. So just be respectful and let's just enjoy K-pop, because in the end, K-pop is fun. K-pop is just a great thing and we all enjoy it. So, let's just, there's no point in fighting. Now, without any further ado, let's begin the ceremony. Now, the ceremony is gonna continue as followed. First, before we go to the top 5, I'm gonna mention one of the honorable mentions. Then we will present the first or the number 5 on the list, then another honorable mention, then top 4, and so on and on. Now please do keep in mind that the honorable mentions are in no particular order. So even if they come right before the top 1, it doesn't necessarily mean that that song was better than the other honorable mentions. They just put together randomly. They are all incredible and great songs. So please keep in mind there's no list in that particular category. So initially, I was quite indifferent to Heartburn. It was a really strange song in the very beginning. I really didn't know what to think about it because the sounds were quite strange and new to me. It was like nothing I've ever listened to before. Regardless of my mixed feelings, I put it on my K-pop list. And, when I was going to work or when I was doing something else, and when I was listening to my playlist, this song would pop up, and well, it started to grow on me. Eventually, instead of just shuffling through it, I would actually start my playlist with Heartburn because it was such a good song. It was quite unique. I think that from this list and in this year, it was probably the most unique song when it comes to its sound, to its chorus, and just the overall execution of it. I was really surprised by how much I eventually liked it. Even though I liked it that much, there are other songs that I liked even more. That's why it didn't quite make the top 5. It was quite close to it, but sadly, it did not make it. There were other songs that surprised me and that caught my heart more than Heartburn. If you watched my reaction to Red Velvet's Birthday, you already know how much I liked the song. There was actually nothing bad I could say about it. And, I'm still struggling to pinpoint exactly what I liked about the song because it's just really hard to say. Like, everything in the song just flows together so perfectly. The play with the words, the vocals, just the beat, the pre-chorus, the chorus, just everything flows so well together that I can only put it in one single word. Fun. It was just pure fun, and there's nothing else I can actually say about this song. It's just fun. Ever since I discovered the song, this has been the song that I start my playlist with. This is the very first song I want to listen to. So, it definitely deserved the spot in the top 5 list. But it didn't get a higher place because other songs have either surprised me a lot more, or they were just more my personal music taste. Because Birthday is not necessarily like the top of my personal music taste, but it's just incredibly fun. It's just an incredibly good song, so I cannot not put it on the list. So Neon's Pop is an incredibly interesting song because I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Now, I didn't listen to the teasers or anything else, so I didn't have any pre-taste per se, but I still expected to be, just like, it's gonna be okay. But I actually loved it from the first listen. And ever since then, I couldn't stop doing the hand movement, even though I'm kind of bad at it, but, the pop hand movement and, singing along with the chorus. It's such an incredibly fun song. My journey with Classy started way back in my teenage girl, and ever since they debuted, I've been listening to their songs and following the group because, I'm quite invested in the members. And their most recent comeback, Tick Tick Boom, just blew me out of the water. I was initially expecting something similar to Shut Down, something more energetic, something more upbeat, but Tick Tick Boom went for something more somber and more darker tone, which I really, really appreciate. The beat, the pre-chorus, and the vocals are just so incredible despite their really young age, or at least most of the members are quite young, and despite the group being, very new to the scene, they really managed to pull off a different style from Shut Down, which is, to be frank, quite, risky for a new group. And another part of the song that really makes me appreciate it that much more are the lyrics and the meaning behind it. Because if you watch the music video and you listen to the lyrics and read them, you will actually realize that a lot of it revolves around their time on the show, which is quite heartwarming. And for someone who's seen the show, someone who has been following them for quite some time, it is just such a meaningful and powerful song. So even though they're in a new group, they're rookies, they are already incredibly good, just so good. So yeah, basically from the moment I listened to the song, I fell in love with the Latin style to it in the chorus, and I also like how they kind of subvert your expectations with the chorus, right? Because you would expect something explosive, something fast-paced, and something incredibly strong because the name is Tick Tick Boom, explosives, boom, boom. But instead, it went for a darker tone, more somber beat, which I really, really appreciate, and I just cannot stop listening to this song. It's just so addicting, so good, and I am so incredibly excited for Classy's next comeback. You got me feeling like usually male K-pop groups don't manage to wow me with their music, so if one actually does manage to do that, then that means something. And this year in particular, Pentagon with their song Feel Like managed to do that. For the first couple of weeks when it first came out, I was listening to it non-stop. It made me feel super confident, it made me feel just incredibly good. The beat, the music was just incredibly fun, and it's really hard to describe how much I enjoyed the song for the first couple of weeks. But eventually it fell off. Eventually I stopped listening to it. So it cannot really go any higher than that. It has to be in the honorable mentions because I did listen to it nonstop when it first came out. So it at least deserves a place here. BB is one of those artists that I discovered quite recently, and her music is just so good and unique in comparison to a lot of other artists I listen to. Her music is quite raw, quite mature, and it's quite refreshing to see because most artists are quite, let's call them PG. I feel like most of them try quite hard to appeal to as many people as possible, and I don't feel like BB is trying to do that. I feel like she's doing her own thing, and it clearly works. And this year she came back with Animal Farm, and this song just, it bangs. Like this song, holy, it's so hard to describe like how much I like this song. Her tone, her unique voice, just singing every single line makes the song so good. And the hard tone, the rock vibe, especially in the end with the guitar solo, with the electric guitar, is so incredible. And you know, today I only talk about the song, not the music video, but if I included the music video as well, then this song would probably go higher because the music video is just straight up a banger. You know, it's incredible. BB's mature music and raw sound just is so incredible to listen to. She feels incredibly authentic with her music, and it doesn't really feel like she's playing a persona. And even though she's the artist that I've listened to the least on this list, probably, it's still someone that I hold in incredibly high regards, and I plan to listen to more of BB in the future. You know, but this song, it's incredible. I still listen to it to this day. That's why it definitely deserves top 3 on the list. This is Classy's debut song, and I have to say, initially, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It was fine. It was a fine song. I thought it fit their tone and their age group, you know, because there is a big gap between the youngest and the oldest member, so they had to find some sort of middle ground, and I think they did that with the song. They did find the middle ground, but initially it was not really my thing. After a couple of listens, I started to really like it, and I started to appreciate each member's vocals and just the energy, you know, like the chorus shut down is just, it's so good. It's so good. That's the reason why I fell in love with the song in the end. And, you know, I follow along with the choreography. It was just a really good song, but, you know, its longevity didn't have, but the song didn't quite have the longevity to actually stay on my radar for the entire year. So I've listened to it for the first couple of months, but then eventually it fell off and it was replaced by other songs. That's why it's in honorable mentions. Yeah, I'm tomboy. Idol's Tomboy is an incredibly meaningful song to me as a part of Neverland. And I think that everyone who is part of Neverland will agree with me that this song was basically do or die for Idol. Idol went for a big hiatus for over a year since, you know, the whole student scandal, and eventually she even got kicked out. And there were a lot of worries when it came to this comeback, right? Because it was really hard to tell how well they will do without one member and how strong they can come back. So initially I was worried and excited at the same time for their new comeback. And the moment, the song was released, it was a straight banger. Like, there was no doubt in my mind that this song is gonna succeed from the very first line. It was so incredibly fun, so good, so just strong, and it sent a message to the entire world that Idol never dies. And this is one of those songs that didn't only capture the fandom's heart, but the entire world's, or rather the K-pop community, because everyone knows about Tomboy, everyone knows the hand movement, everyone listened to this song at least once. It's just such a good song. Soyeon once again outdid herself with the writing and composing. And this is the first comeback, and this is the first comeback since Soojin left. So it was that much more important to make it work, and they made it work, and they make it work, and they made it work, and they made it work. Oh, they also went for a style that they didn't do before. They went for a rock music style. They didn't do it before with any other song, so it was quite refreshing and something new to see. And I know that Dreamcatcher is quite verse in that regard, but for Idol, it was something new that they didn't do before, so it was refreshing to see Idol in that light. It was just a really good song. But there's one song that just eventually became my favorite song of the year. Now, our last honorable mention is Yua's Selfish. It was an incredibly fun song with an incredibly catchy chorus, just like Pop. It was stuck in my head for weeks after it came out, but eventually, its magic disappeared and I stopped listening to it. But still, it is a really fun song, and it definitely deserves to be mentioned on this list. Really fun, really catchy. Just go listen to it if you haven't yet. The grand prize, the ListenedALot Award, goes to Idol's Nude. Now, if you asked me a week ago which is my favorite song of the year, I would probably say Tomboy. Actually, no, I would say Tomboy. But Nude has grown on me quite a lot. Ever since it came out, it's been the #1 song on my playlist. I've always listened to it every single time I turned on my phone, my Spotify. So it is a song that definitely needed to be on this list. I just didn't know quite where yet. But that has been resolved a week ago when I was actually, putting this list together. Then I realized how much I liked Nude. One of the biggest reasons why I liked Nude so much is because of how unique it is. I don't think that any other song this year was as unique as Nude, with both sound, the theme of the song, and its execution. Soyeon once again managed to create something that is different from other Idol songs, but it still feels like an Idol song, which is just so mind-boggling to me how someone can actually pull it off. Create something completely different from any other stuff you've ever done, but at the same time be something that is still familiar to the people who listen to you. It's an incredible skill that Soyeon has, and I just cannot praise her enough for what she did. Whenever this song is on, I dance along, I sing along to the chorus, to the pre-chorus, to the beginning, to the end. Just this entire song just makes me feel good. So it just deserves the #1. It just deserves it. It's such a good song. This is also quite a meaningful song because I think that this song really, really showcased Shua's talent. So I think that this song has been a big success for her. She really, really grew a lot. And just like the other members did as well, but Shua in particular. And I just cannot praise this song enough. It's stuck in my head. I want to listen to it again just by talking about it. So yeah, they definitely deserve the Listened a Lot Award. And with this, the Listened a Lot ceremony has been concluded. This year was amazing for K-pop. There were many amazing and incredible artists that didn't quite make the list, because if I did the list of all the songs I've listened to and all the songs that I really enjoyed, there would be no end. That's how good this year has been. Now that we've celebrated the best of the best, my favorite songs and my favorite groups this year, I think the time has come to end the show, to end the ceremony, and congratulate every single participant of this award show. So, I was your host, MrQuitALot. I hope you had a great time this evening, and hopefully you will come back for the next award show next year. Goodbye.